Hello everyone. First and foremost, hit that subscribe button. Click the thumbs up. Come on, people. Alright, but let's get into this. Let's talk about this Scott Martin thing going on right now. If you haven't heard, Scott Martin might be DQ'd again from Bassmaster Elite. He was already DQ'd on Lake Okeechobee, his home lake, when they were there a few weeks ago, and all of that. So let's get into this. Number one, there's already been a bunch of DQs this year. Well, not a bunch, but a bunch, really, relative to what there is in the past. Yeah, they're trying to crack down on no information rule kind of in every league, but we'll get into that. First, Matt Herron was disqualified the first tournament of the year, turned himself in. No information rules. Supposedly heard someone talk about the St. Johns River. Turned himself in, got DQ'd, decided to quit Bass, went to NPFL. All that stuff. And then in the NPFL on that first tournament here on Santee Cooper, Skeeter Crosby the last day asked a camera boat driver that was watching his friend, Skeeter Crosby's friend, who was also, they were both, towards the top, had a chance to win the thing. And they were friends fishing around the same area, but he asked the camera guy how his friend was doing over there, and NPFL disqualified him, which was just kind of stupid. That one I thought was totally dumb. I mean, he already knew where the guy was. They were fishing near each other for like the first 2 days off and on and stuff. They roomed together. It was a stupid disqualification. That one I really hated. That one didn't sit well with me. Now, let's get into this Scott Martin thing. His first DQ on Lake Okeechobee, that's his home lake. He lives there. He was at the marina / boat shop, whatever, there that he goes to all the time, getting his boat ready for the tournament season. It was even before the season started, whatever. And it was a Saturday, and there was a bunch of people there, and he heard them talking about fishing. Supposedly, he did ask a guy what the water looked like on Lake Okeechobee. Okay, he ended up turning himself in, whatever, got DQ'd for Okeechobee. Now, I also heard a rumor that the reason he turned himself in for the Okeechobee one was someone filmed him talking, getting information or whatever. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. But let me say this. I do like Scott Martin. I've always been a fan of his in the early FLW days, even before he even started YouTube. And then I really liked his YouTube channel. I still do. And I like watching him fishing tournaments. I liked him on FLW. I like him on Bassmasters. He's a fun watch. He always seems like he makes fishing fun, which is the point that a lot of us are trying to do. Fishing is fun. And that's what we're trying to convey a lot. And it seems like a lot of times, a lot of these pros nowadays, they don't get that. A lot of these kids, they're not fun to watch. They're annoying to watch, to be honest with you. And they're just not really the kids. They're just kind of, there's a lot of guys who aren't fun to watch. There's always been guys who haven't been fun to watch. But anyway, he's definitely not one of them. So I like Scott Martin. Seems like a good guy too. But yeah, I don't know. Here's the other thing too, is Roland Martin, his dad, is a notorious cheater. Well, I guess back then it wasn't really cheating. But playing in the gray area and stuff and getting info and stuff back in the day, a lot of guys said he was really bad at that. I mean, I even heard, I don't necessarily know who the pro is, and I don't think it was ever released, but heard this kind of from multiple pros. But one of them for sure said, Roland Martin hasn't found his own fish in 25 years. And that was, like in the 90s, towards the end of Roland Martin's career or whatever. But yeah, so he was always in that gray area, and a lot of these rules now on Bassmaster and everywhere else is because of him. There's a lot of Roland Martin rules out there. So I'm not saying that, that means Scott Martin's a cheater too, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I don't know. I really don't believe that, and I don't want to believe that because I like Scott Martin, like I said. And it's just kind of an unfortunate thing. Now let's get into this possible DQ here on the Pasquotank River, right? Pasquotank, I don't even know I've never heard of this place before, which is cool. I want to see a tournament where they're not going somewhere where they go to every year. That's so annoying. I talked about this before when I was talking about the Classic and all that. I'm tired of them going to the same places. But so supposedly Scott Martin had talked to someone about an adjacent river, which supposedly is over an hour run from getting from that river through another area to get to the river they're actually fishing, but it's still connected, if that makes sense. So that's kind of a thing. I know back in the day, I don't really think they can do this anymore, but they used to, like, guys would get information about a lake that was near a lake that they're going to or something, as long as they weren't connected or whatever. But this is connected. So supposedly that came out, and so yeah, and I guess Saturday he is having a polygraph test with Bass and all this, and he might be DQ'd. That's gonna be, if he does, that's 2 DQs in 3 tournaments. It's not looking good for him. But also, here's the thing that I keep hearing people say: is he gonna quit Bassmaster then? I mean, he's got the big YouTube channel now, and all that. Is he going to quit doing tournament fishing and just focus on the YouTube channel? Or maybe he'll quit and go somewhere else. I don't know. I mean, I would hate to see that. I want to see him fish the Bassmasters. I want to see him win that Classic, that his dad never did, whatever. I like that story. That's a cool storyline and all that. And I just, like I said, I like the dude, and I think he's a good dude. He seems like a good dude. And, his videos are fun, and it's fun watching him on Bassmaster and all that. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he is getting information. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know. And that leads me to this, too. Is this no information rule just gone completely insane? Because, MLF tried to do this when they started, or the Bass Pro Tour years ago. They tried to do this big no information rule. They couldn't even talk to their roommates about fishing and all this stuff, and that went away after like a season because it wasn't enforceable. And even if it was, it's just kind of stupid. And now this kind of no information rule, I mean, what do fishermen do when they see each other? When I'm coming off the boat ramp, I got guys, if there's any fishermen fishing, like bank fishing over there, or another guy pulling his boat out of the water or putting his boat in the water, what's the first thing they ask you? Did you catch any? What happened? I mean, we talk about fishing. That's what we do. You see another fisherman at the store or something, instantly they're going to want to talk to you. Or you're both staring at baits at the freaking Walmart or whatever. You're going to start talking fishing, and it's even worse when it's a pro, because a lot of guys, they recognize those guys or whatever. I mean, I got a tiny YouTube channel, and even I have people come up to me and be like, hey, I watch your videos. And it's like, oh, hey, and I'm a little dude. So you see, with pros and stuff, guys are going to want to walk up to them and, hey, and start running their mouth about it. And obviously a pro doesn't want to be a dick or whatever. I mean, but you really have to be like, hey, don't talk to me. If you're not asking for info or whatever, then you shouldn't be DQ'd for that. And, but this kind of sounds like he was asking for it. But anyway, and also, I think it's just gotten too out of hand, and it's so impossible to enforce a stupid no information rule. I mean, it really is. The guys have to self-report themselves, and pretty much all the time. So, and then also, if you just piss off an angler or something, they might protest you, and then Bass has to look at it or whatever. Like, that's stupid, But I don't like it. And it's kind of, I've heard people talk, should they just get rid of the no information rule and just go freaking Wild West free for all? I don't know. It's really weird. What's your thoughts on that? What do you think about the no info rule? What do you think about Scott Martin and all of this? I mean, let me know. And I hope if you didn't know about this, you learned about it. Keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. See what happens after the polygraph test, which those are stupid too, but anyway, I just had to make a video on this. Been seeing people talk about it and whatever, and just wanted to get my thoughts out there and hear your thoughts and get people kind of talking about it and everything. But I'll see you guys on the next one.